Ready, hot!
There'll be more to say at another time.
It's bound to be a positive.
David, last year, the perception was Texas was driving the boat and everybody else was just sort of along for the ride. This year, you guys seem to take that role. In the last 2 or 3 days, the perception is that sort of fell apart around you. Texas is sitting down in Austin, getting everything it wants. It's got the conference, and so far, we've heard nothing about any changes. And
You haven't?
well, not that would be concessions by Texas. So
I'm not going to say
So
anything.
I guess I'm asking, what can you tell your
Well, I'm not gonna
fans
say-
that would make them feel better about?
Well, I think first of all, we've come up with the result that I think most of our fans want. And you've heard Coach Stoops and you've heard Joe Castiglione. So to me, the conclusion of this is a victory for Oklahoma because we're strengthening the Big 12. What was our goal when we started on this? It was to be in a conference with stability. And that didn't mean, as some I think misread, if you will remember, I made a comment in which I don't think too many people picked up on, and I made it deliberately. It was not a throwaway line. One of you had mentioned that I quoted a British Prime Minister. And what was that quote? Always expect the unexpected. I was trying to say, don't write the demise of the Big 12 so quickly. And that's been something we've always wanted. But it's no secret. It's no secret that I felt we should have a change of commissioners. There's no secret about that. It has not been a secret for some time, at least within those in the conference, in the know that we wanted a grant of rights, and we wanted a grant of rights long enough to go past the 5-year renegotiation so that no member of the conference would be tempted to elope with someone else during that period. Those are two very strong things that we wanted. I think that we also wanted to see expansion, and we felt expansion's important to the long-term stability. So the expansion, reactivation of the expansion committee is important. And we wanted some other issues addressed in a very serious way and in a very timely way. And let me say that, again, we agreed not to talk about our private conversations today at the meeting, but the appointment of this committee was very important to me. The committee to work on additional items to strengthen the conference as well. We didn't have a long list. We only had a list of 4 or 5 key items that we wanted, and I would say that either those were adopted or they'll be on the agenda of the special committee that the chancellor will appoint. So I think that the important thing is you have a victory when what's best for the University of Oklahoma takes place, and that's what I've said. We were going to make a decision based upon what's best for the University of Oklahoma. Now, in terms of who's driving the train, I want to say something about that. The University of Oklahoma does not have any ambition to drive the train anywhere. We have no desire to dominate the Big 12 conference, none whatsoever. We have a very strong feeling that those conferences that have been the most stable are conferences in which every member feels valued equally and in which there's equality, in essence, of membership of the conference. So we don't want anyone, university, dominating the Big 12, and we have no ambition to dominate the Big 12. So this business of driving the train or not driving the train, to us, we don't seek to drive the train. All we wanted was stability in conference so that we could concentrate on winning games and providing quality of life for student athletes and not having a drama every year. And let me say, it's well known that there were not just 2 universities that were having conversations with other conferences. There were at least 4 universities having conversations with other conferences, and maybe more. We may never know the answer to all that question, but we know with certainty that there were 4. So the driving of the train analogy is something that I really, we have no ambition to drive the train. And I have no ambition to drive the train. And I can tell you, I have not been driving the train within the boundaries of this university, because I'm not going to try to drive the train anywhere that our Board of Regents, our athletics director, and our coaches, including our football coach, do not want to go. The train from the University of Oklahoma is going to head where this unified group wants it to try to go. And we are very, very pleased with the outcome. I think it's to achieve stability, and the greater stability in the Big 12 Conference, which is where we live, which is where our fans can go to games and drive to games, where our players will not be taken out of classroom work for extra hours of travel in different time zones. That's a victory for the University of Oklahoma. That's what's in the best interest of the University of Oklahoma. And I'm sure the process by which we came to that conclusion will be written about, parsed, and analyzed for a long time. But when you get where you hoped you'd get into a stabilized conference, that's where you really want to be. I think that's good. But I hope no one will write in the future that anyone's driving the train in this conference. That's our goal. And I don't care whether that's Texas driving this conference, or Oklahoma driving this conference, or Missouri driving this conference, or Kansas with their basketball strength driving this conference. I don't think anybody will drive. And if we get in a situation where anybody drives this conference, it would weaken us. The strong conferences are the conferences where there's a great amount of partnership, mutual respect, and trust across the board.
If the Tier 1 and 2, Tier 2, if you do come up with virtual revenue sharing,
yes.
If you do that, is the end result you would actually make a little bit less money?
Well, the grant of rights, there are two issues.
One
is the grant of rights. The other is, you're saying, if we were to agree with equal distribution, would the University of Oklahoma make a financial contribution?
No, would you make a little less money than what you've been doing?
That's what I mean. Would we make a financial contribution for the good of the conference?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Would we be willing to do so in order to strengthen the conference? Yes. Yes, we'd be willing to do that. We would hope that wouldn't occur overnight, that it would be phased in. But would the University of Oklahoma be willing to make a financial sacrifice for equal distribution of that Tier 1 and Tier 2 money in the conference? The answer to that is yes. We would be willing to do so. I can't answer what we'll be willing to do, but I can't answer because we've agreed not to answer what would be on the agenda. And recall, we are planning our own conference, our own network, our own institutional network, and so that speaks for itself. We have an interest in pursuing that. That should be happening here in less than 12 months.